Alright, forgive me for covering this late, but I did sleep in because yesterday was a late day after the stream. But we have a trade between the LA Kings and the Nashville Predators. I'm kinda confused as to whether or not to label this a 2020-2021 trade or a 2021-2022 trade, because we're still before the draft and that's usually the cutoff point as to when I like to divide the seasons into playlists and all that. But either or, we have ourselves a trade made between LA and Nashville. It is Viktor Arvidsson heading his way over to the City of Angels in exchange for a 2021 second-round pick and a 2022 third. They're both LA's picks, and the reason they gave them up is because they have several of those picks. But either way, it is essentially just a second and a third for Viktor Arvidsson, a guy who used to be a lot better than he is now. That's no disrespect to the body of work that he has put up today, but ever since that Robert Bortuzzo thing a few years ago, he hasn't really been the same, and it's not really in a good way either. Either way, though, Arvidsson used to be a consistent 30-goal, 60-point guy. Then the thing happened, and now he is hovering around the 25-ish point range. Granted, he did that in about 50 games this season and 57 the other. But either way, Arvidsson still is a capable NHL-caliber contributor who is making $4.25 million a season until 2023-2024. So even though he is a small guy, he's 5'9", 181 pounds, he's always had this underdog-like status after being drafted as an overage player and eventually making the league that way. So for the Kings, what you guys are getting is honestly an opportunity here. It's a really interesting thing because Nashville Predators guys usually seem to do pretty well when they leave that system, mostly because Nashville is so defense-oriented and reliant on goaltending. But for the Predators and what you're getting here, obviously you're getting the draft picks, but what you're also getting is a little bit more flexibility for the Seattle expansion draft, as well as some more extra cap dollars. We did note he's making $4.25 million AAV. He isn't the same player like he was a few years ago, and the Preds now have about $22 million of salary cap space in order to re-sign Brad Richardson, Mikhail Granlund, Eric Haula, Eli Tolvanen, Mathieu Oliver. Then you have Eric Goodbranson, Lucas Spiza. How the hell do you have both of these guys on your team? This is 2015 Vancouver Canucks glory all right there. And then you still have Ben Harper, Dante Fabro, Pekka Rinne, which, I mean, I don't really think that's going to happen. And then you have UC Saros as well. So some big names over there. Fabro, Saros, Granlund, Haula, Tolvanen, and all that, and not to mention the Lucas Spezas and the Goodbransons as well. This gives you a little bit more flexibility to do that because $4-point-something million has been freed up. Now, as for the Seattle expansion, we'll see how exactly things go down with the Predators. Let's see if it's a Luke Cunnin who gets exposed. I highly doubt it. Or one of the Duchesnes or the Ryan Johanssons that gets up in there as well. Another interesting thing to note about this entire trade, though, too, was what Philip Forsberg posted on his Instagram story. He said, thumbs down. Because, I mean, it's easy to see why. Swedish guy getting traded from Nashville. The other Swedish guy on the team, Philip Forsberg, apparently a good friend of Arvidsson's, doesn't like it. So, unfortunate to see the severing of friendships, I guess. But at the end of the day, it is business. Talk to me in the comments what you think about this entire trade. Arvidsson to the Kings. I hope you enjoyed this. For Josh Wilson, 99. And bye.